So this is the most expensive makeup that I own. And some of it, I'm almost afraid to touch. I have been reviewing every luxury beauty bestseller for years, and today I'm gonna show you the ultra elite in my collection and tell you exactly which ones are Sophia approved and which ones are just beautiful nonsense. Because listen, I love a good luxury moment, but at these prices, it better be magic. Let's get into it. All right, I am barefaced and we are gonna kick things off with the most expensive primer that I have in my collection, which is none other than the Victoria Beckham Beauty Cell Rejuvenating Priming Moisturizer, which comes in at $150 for the larger size. According to the Victoria Beckham Beauty website, this is supercharged with a selection of revitalizing actives. This comes in 3 shades and I have the one that is called Golden. So it does give kind of like a beautiful shimmery golden glow to the face, adds a lot of nice moisture to the skin, and just kind of like a little bit of dewiness and suppleness, which makes it really great when you go in with the foundation afterwards. But even just on its own, it does give a really beautiful glow to the skin and lots of all-day hydration. Now, why is this $150? Well, I just mentioned, it is packed with a lot of skincare. This is in collaboration with Dr. Augustinus Bader, which if you've never heard of him, he is a very famous biomedical scientist and physician. He has his own very, very expensive, very bougie skincare line, and the prices are very much in line with what we're seeing here from Victoria Beckham Beauty. So when you're buying something like this, you're not just buying something that's going to prep your skin for makeup, but it really is skincare. You can think of it as more of like a moisturizer as opposed to something that's going to like smooth the skin. I wouldn't say that this increases the longevity of my makeup. It's more so something that really preps the skin, locks in moisture, adds a little bit of glow, and helps my foundation go on more smoothly. And I guess last a little bit throughout the day in the sense that my skin doesn't get dried out, but not in the sense that it's going to like massively lock and load it like a setting spray would, for example. So this is what it looks like on my fair skin. You can see even the golden shade, it doesn't add like a muddy tone to my skin. It's not too glowy, too sparkly. It's a really nice product and I can totally see why it's $150. You've got the skincare in there and everything. But I must say, I would put this in the luxury letdown category just because I really think you can just get away with your regular skincare. You could purchase Augustinus Bader's skincare and use that as your prep. I don't think you necessarily need like a priming moisturizer. It almost feels like an extra category that kind of gets you to buy something that you don't really need. I think if you're doing really good moisturization with the skincare that you already have, if you already have a lot of really good actives and ingredients in the skincare that you already own, I don't necessarily think you need a priming moisturizer. And on top of that, there's also some other really beautiful luxury products out there on the market that I like better for adding a bit of glow to my skin, whether it is worn alone as a primer or mixed into my foundation. One of my absolute favorites is this one from Dior. This is the Dior Forever Glow Star Filter. This comes in, I believe, 10 shades, so you can really pick the best one for your skin tone. And it gives so much moisture, so much glow. It's very radiant, but in a very sophisticated way. I've recommended this in so many videos here on my channel. So if you're looking for something that gives the glow that you would get from the Victoria Beckham Beauty, I would go with this. I feel like this is a little bit more customizable. And I mean, it is Dior, it is luxury, but it's less than the Victoria Beckham Beauty. And I think you're gonna get a little bit more for your dollar out of this. And for my friends out there who are looking for an actual primer that's really gonna make the makeup lay smoother on the skin and increase the longevity of your makeup, the absolute top shelf primer that I've ever tried in this category is this one from Clé de Peau Beauté. This is the Correcting Cream Veil. This is it is the most beautiful velveteen texture that you will ever spread onto your skin. I don't even really like primers. I don't even really use primers unless it's to add a little bit of like extra glow and moisture. This is the one that I actually feel is worth it. Again, it's expensive, but I really think that it's worth it. This is the absolute best, most luxurious, real longevity and smoothing primer that I've ever tried. So if you're looking for one in that category, this is like that top shelf elite product that I would recommend. And by the way, as we go along in each of these makeup categories, I will do my best to give you what I think are the best alternatives, if any of these are Luxe letdowns. If you're new here, I don't really do like dupes on my channel. I do focus mostly on luxury beauty. So most of the recommendations I'm gonna give to you, they are gonna be in the luxury category. So these products aren't cheap, but I will let you know the alternatives that I think are absolutely worth your money. And if any of the luxury letdowns that I mentioned in this video are your absolute favorite, totally no shame. Comment down below, let us know why. I love luxury beauty, so let us know why they are your favorites and why they work for you. I don't know about you, but I feel like my lips are looking a little crusty right now. So how about we prep them with the most expensive lip treatment in my collection, which is the La Mer Lip Volumizer, coming in at a whopping $90. I have this in the shade Sheer Coral. This comes in beautiful packaging, I must say. It does feel very luxury, and I've taken a look at the ingredients of this lip treatment, and I will agree, it has some very luxurious lip care. You're definitely getting a lot of that when you're purchasing this. I will also mention this does have a pretty strong pepperminty scent, so if you don't like peppermint, I don't think this is going to be for you. It adds a very sheer color to the lips. I can't say that I would purchase another shade. Like, I can barely see the coral on my lips right now, but it does do a really good job moisturizing and prepping the lips due to all of those very luxurious lip care ingredients. But at the $90 price point, $90, I gotta be honest, this is a luxury letdown for me, mostly because there's other really good luxury lip oils out on the market that I think are just better, that I prefer more than these from La Mer. The top ones that I love are the Guerlain lip oils. They just have the richest, thickest, like most luscious texture to them. They're so moisturizing, and because they're a little bit thicker, they last longer on the lips as well. They're infused with honey. So think of like spreading a delicious oily honey across your lips. That's the experience. They give a really beautiful little light tint. I also really like the Merit lip oils. Those are beautiful, and they come in a lot of really gorgeous shades. So when you wear one versus the other, you can actually tell the difference. There's so many good ones out there on the market. I just feel like for $90, this is a luxury letdown, and this is coming from somebody who loves La Mer skincare, like Creme de la Mer, chef's kiss. Love my Creme de la Mer in the winter. I will splurge for that. But this, I feel like it's a skip. Oh, and by the way, if you happen to be enjoying this video, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. It really helps me out. And if you are new here, maybe consider subscribing to my channel. My name is Sophia, and I upload new videos just like this every single week, all about accessible luxury, beauty, and fashion. I try these products so that you don't have to, and I only recommend the very best of the best to my subscribers that makes them feel luxurious every single day. I film all of my beauty videos in natural light with no filters. So if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button to join our fam. We seriously would love to have you. And as a reminder, I am going to be linking all these products, all of the alternatives, recommendations, all the shades in that description box down below. Those are affiliate links, so when you shop through my links, it supports my channel so that I can make more videos just like this. So thank you so much for all of your support. It is time for the most expensive product in this video, which is the Clé de Peau the foundation, coming in at $285. This is the most expensive foundation that I own. Maybe there's a more expensive one out there, but this is the most expensive one that I have tested. And yes, it is one of my favorite foundations that I have ever used. The question is, why is this $285, and is it worth the hefty price tag? Well, first off, let me show you the absolutely stunning luxury packaging. This is a glass jar with a gorgeous, almost jewel-like cap. The packaging is so weighty, beautiful, and luxurious, adds a nice little touch to your everyday ritual. But it's not just the packaging. I've tried so many luxury foundations, so many luxury beauty brands out there, and Clé de Peau is one of the best when it comes to foundations. They make my favorite foundations. I'll just put it out there. They make my favorite foundations, and all of their products are so skin friendly, especially dry skin and mature skin friendly. Everything just lays beautifully on the skin, wears beautifully on the skin, is gentle, not cakey. And this foundation in particular, it is priced higher than the rest because they've just taken the ingredients to a whole other level. These ingredients do focus a little bit more on like anti-aging, skin elasticity, hydration. And so for that reason, it is going to be higher priced. All of their foundations are beautiful, by the way. If you're interested in learning more about all of their foundations and really all of the Clé de Peau products, definitely check out my video about Clé de Peau after this. I'll link it down below. I basically talk about every single product that I own from the brand so you can know what is good and what is actually worth your money. But this foundation, compared to the rest, it does have even more skincare that is great for mature skin or aging skin, and it also is the lightest coverage. And most of us know as we get older, at least in my experience, less is more. This one is so lightweight, so skin-like. It's almost like a skin tint, but you can see here, I can kind of build it up to like medium coverage. It does cover up my redness, my rosacea. My skin is a little bit flushed right now. The most common questions that I get about this foundation is if it is similar to other jar foundations like the Chantecaille Future Skin Foundation, the Chanel Sublimage. And it's funny because sometimes we see similar packaging and we think that the foundations are going to be similar, but I don't find this to be similar to any of those foundations. What I really like about the foundation from Clé de Peau in particular is that it is so lightweight. I find this one to be the lightest coverage, but still buildable. It feels so natural and skin-like on the skin. It is incredibly moisturizing, but it doesn't get heavy or slimy. I feel like it will set down and I can layer other powders on top. Some of the other ultra luxury skincare packed foundations that I've tried, they can get a little bit thick on the skin. They're a little bit too much. They can sometimes be a bit heavy. And I just like how this one, it's almost like a skin tint, which I think works for a lot of us out there who just want to look very natural and not have too much on our skin throughout the day, because then it tends to get a bit heavy and cakey. So if I were to have to choose between this and let's say like a Chanel Sublimage, I definitely like this one better, but that is my personal preference. I just think that this one, it is a step above in terms of the experience and the way that it feels on my skin. So is this worth it? Is it luxe worthy? Am I really gonna be recommending a $285 foundation in this video right now? It is to me. In fact, I would consider this not only luxe worthy, I would consider this top shelf. Trust me, I know that nobody needs a nearly $300 foundation, but all the products in this video are luxury. If you're looking for the best of the best, if you're looking for luxury and this is the kind of thing that you're looking for, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Personally, foundations are the #1 category where I like to invest my money when it comes to makeup, because if my skin doesn't look good, if the foundation doesn't look great, I feel like the rest of my makeup doesn't look great. Taking care of my skin is my #1 priority. So this is where I like to splurge because I feel like it makes the biggest difference. So once again, I'll link down below my Clé de Peau video, also my luxury foundation and skin tints video if you want some more recommendations. But my subscribers in the comments who own this, they do tell me that this is their absolute holy grail. Moving along to the most expensive concealer. This is from Chanel. This is the Chanel Sublimage Le Correcteur Yeux, coming in at $110 for this tiny little jar. And this is kind of the same situation as the foundation from Clé de Peau. It is a jar-based product that is infused with very expensive skincare. In this case, Chanel infuses all the Sublimage products with the vanilla planifolia extract. And here's the thing, guys. Here's how I feel about this, because I know that a lot of my subscribers really, really like this, especially if you have, you know, delicate, dry skin around the eyes, which I do. I have very dry eyelids and eye area, but I feel like this is almost maybe a little bit too fancy for me. I really don't like the packaging. I'm trying to open it up right now without making a mess, but I pretty much always do. It always gets everywhere, all around the packaging and the rim of the jar. It's just a bit finicky, and if you don't keep this little plastic thing on, it just gets worse. When it comes to this product as well, I really think less is more. So it's $110, but it will last you quite a long time. It almost seems like no matter how little I put, it's like a bit too much. It's kind of hard to control how much I use, where it goes. If I put too much, it creases on me. It's almost like too moisturizing. But if I put too little, I don't get enough coverage. It is a beautiful product. It certainly is very moisturizing, but it's not my favorite. I will be honest with you. I don't think it's worth it. I think there's so many other good concealers out there, and it's a little bit too dewy and moisturizing to be able to use on like a pimple, for example. I think it'll just slide off. You can see like how brightening it is. It looks good, but it's just a little bit too fancy and too finicky for my liking. Now, what would I personally use instead? I like something with a little bit more control and precision. I prefer a click pen concealer. That is, if we're talking like these very skincare infused formulas that are ultra moisturizing. There's tons of concealers out there that I like that are maybe more matte, more glowy, etc. But when we're talking about this category, I really like the ones from PEAU, Victoria Beckham Beauty, and Chantecaille. Each of those brands have a similar concealer that comes in a click pen, so it's just so much easier to put the product exactly where you want and without adding too much. Now, between all those three, because I know people are gonna ask me, which one's best? They're all really, really good. If I were to recommend just one, it would be the Victoria Beckham Beauty. And the reason for that is because I feel like the PEAU has a slightly matter texture than this. I love that product, but the Victoria Beckham Beauty and the Chantecaille, they have like a juicier finish, if that makes sense. The Chantecaille, unfortunately, does not have many shades. I really like that product, but there's not enough shades. So it's great for me, but it's not great for everybody. The Victoria Beckham Beauty one, I think, is really, really good. There's a pretty decent shade range, and it's gonna give you a very similar effect. It's still expensive. It's infused with the Augustinus Bader skincare once again, but I prefer to use that. I think it's quicker, it's more convenient. This just takes me too long. I'm usually in a rush, so it is a good product, but for me, I do put it in the luxury letdown category because after having it for so long, I honestly like never reach for this. It's powder time. Do you not see this luxurious tower of powders? I don't even like powder, but you guys do. So all year long, I have been testing the most expensive, the most luxurious loose powders on the market, and I am here to spill, guys, all right? I have the Sisley, I have the La Prairie, I have the PEAU, and the most expensive one that I'm gonna put on my face is this one from SISLEY. This is actually the newest one that has been released, and this is in the shade Translucent. Now you might be wondering, Sophia, you love makeup. Why do you hate powder? I don't hate powder, friends. My skin hates powder. My skin just rejects powder. It always looks cakey and gross, and I have dry skin, so I don't really need a lot of powder, but there are times, especially because I live in Texas, it gets hot here, sometimes I'm a sweaty mess, that I do want to set my makeup, I do want to lock and load, or I want to take down a little bit of shine from these incredibly hydrating luxury foundations. So I was on a mission this year to find a powder that actually works for me. And all of these luxury powders, I am a little sad to admit because they're so expensive, are the best powders that I have ever tried. I honestly didn't think it was possible for me to like a loose powder. I do have some pressed ones that I like. My favorite one is the Sisley Blur Expert. I'll link it down below. But loose powder and we have some issues. This Sisley loose powder is so silky. It's so finely milled. I have tried like Sephora brands, I've tried other brands, and seriously, nothing compares to this. Nothing compares. And because I have an issue with powder and because I'm getting older, I don't want anything super heavy. This is another category that I'm like willing to splurge on, just like the foundation category. So in my opinion, all three of these powders, they are not only luxe worthy, they are top shelf because they completely changed my mind about this category of makeup. Now you're probably wondering, well, which one is the best? The Sisley, the La Prairie or the Clé de Peau. So I'm gonna break down the very small differences between these so you can decide what is best for you. First off, in terms of performance, I find all of them to be somewhat the same. Like honestly, they're all really finely milled. I feel like they all work really well on my skin, are better than other cheaper alternatives that I've tried on the market, but there's a couple of little differences between them. First off, the La Prairie is very heavily fragranced. I don't really mind the fragrance, but I would prefer it not be. Also, the La Prairie has the most luxurious packaging. It's like, this is ridiculous, guys. And you also get a ton of product with this. This is technically the most expensive upfront investment, but it is cheaper per gram compared to the Sisley. So you have the fragrance, you get a lot of product, really luxurious packaging, and you also get a cute, adorable little travel size powder when you purchase this powder. The Clé de Peau one is around the same price per gram as the La Prairie, but it isn't fragrance, which I really like about that. However, the downside to the Clé de Peau loose powder is that it only comes in 2 shades. You have a pink, which is great if that's the kind of like color correcting tone you're looking for. And then it comes in like a beige, which I think for many people who are like my skin but fairer might be a little bit too dark for you. Then we have the Sisley. Technically, this is the most expensive one out of the 3 because you get the least product for your money. It's not fragranced and it comes in different shades than the Clé de Peau and the La Prairie. So my recommendation to you would be to think about, number 1, do you care if it's fragrance? Which shade works for you? And then how much powder do you actually use on a regular basis? You get a ton of product with the La Prairie, but like this is gonna take me so much time to get through. My favorite, and the one that I would personally repurchase, is the Clé de Peau because I like that it doesn't have any fragrance. I like both of the shades. I kind of go back and forth between them, and it is less per gram than the Sisley. So that would be the one that I would personally go with. But again, it really just depends on your skin tone and your personal preferences. Okay, complexion is looking amazing. Comment down below. Do I look luxurious? I definitely think that I need a little bit of bronzer on my face, however. And so my most expensive bronzer is this one from Sisley, which I've gotten so many questions about. This one is the Sisley Phyto Touche Illusion d'été. Hopefully I pronounced that okay. And this comes in at $150. I know. Sisley, why are you so expensive? And why do I like so many of your products? Now, this bronzer is a gel powder consistency. Sometimes we call it baked gelée. And usually with these types of formulations, you get a super smooth, seamless, and usually a bit glowy type of finish onto the skin. And I have to agree with this bronzer. I'm definitely getting that. I really like the formula of this. It is so smooth. It kind of like blends itself. And I also think that on my skin tone, it does look relatively natural. And it also is rather buildable and pigmented. I will say that. However, I would say that for the price of $150, I would consider this to be in the luxury letdown category because I think it's overpriced. I really do. I think there's other similar products out there on the market. The alternative that is the most similar would be the Chantecaille bronzer. I love that one. It's really similar to this. It's also really expensive, but it's not $150. I know a lot of my subscribers really like that product. Also, if you want something even more affordable, I would say the ones from RMS. They're also a really beautiful baked formula. Those are slightly more glowy. There's some of the most popular products on my channel. We love our RMS bronzers and blushes on Sophia C's Beauty, so that would also be my recommendation. You can see right here the difference between no bronzer and then the Sisley bronzer. It does have a little bit of like a peachy effect on my skin, which is the other thing that I want to mention about this. This leans pretty warm. I think it looks really nice on my skin tone. I love it, but I do think for a lot of my subscribers out there who have fair skin, especially those of you who always ask me for neutral bronzer recommendations or like pinky tone bronzer recommendations, I don't think you're gonna like this. I think you're gonna find it to be very warm. My undertone is like neutral warm, so I think it works for me. If you have a warm undertone, you might wanna check this out. It's really beautiful, but it only comes in one shade. And to me, that's a complete letdown if you only have one shade. Like, come on, SISLEY. Same with Chantecaille, all right? Like, we need more of these beautiful baked bronzers in more shades. If anybody has any recommendations for something similar that comes in a somewhat decent shade range, please list it down below for us, because I love this product, but I just think for $150, it's way too much, and especially because it might not be the perfect shade for you. And if you're spending $150, it needs to be the perfect shade. So if you want some recommendations for my favorite luxury bronzers, definitely check out my video, Best Bronzers for Fair Skin. And then I have another video with just my general best luxury bronzers, which I will link down below so you can watch it after this. I promise y'all this video is not gonna be just SISLEY products, but the most expensive blushes that I've ever tried, I think the most expensive ones that I've seen on the market are the SISLEY L'Orchidée blushes. Hopefully I pronounced that okay. These are described as highlighting blushes, so they are gonna give a little bit of glow to the skin. And I feel like there's so many people that are curious about these because, let's face it, they're quite striking. The design of these is quite striking. I do have all three shades. My favorite is number 1, which is kind of like the nudie toned one. This is the one that I use the most, although they're all really beautiful, like everyday shades. And no matter what shade you get, each of these blushes features a beautiful orchid with colorful petals and beautiful little specks of highlighting powder. This is gorgeous. It is, I'm not gonna lie, it is very luxurious. I really like using these blushes. And with most luxury brands, because trust me, I've tried them, this would be, or at least most of this would be, an overspray. Like, it would be gone in 2 seconds. You get so excited, like, ooh, I'm buying the prettiest product ever. And then with one swipe of your brush, it is literally gone, but not with this, not with these SISLEY Orchid blushes. I was so delighted to find out that all of these beautiful little speckles of highlighting powder, they go down, they go deep to the bottom of the pan. That is so unique. I literally never see that with other luxury powder products. It's literally always an overspray. You can even tell right here, I like stabbed, I gouged my blush for you for science, just to see, does it really go down to the bottom of the pan? And it definitely looks like it does. So I've been so impressed with these blushes. I really do love using them. I feel luxurious when I use them. And so for that reason, I would definitely say that these are luxe worthy. I would say, however, wait for a sale or see if you can get them somewhere at a little bit of a discount. I will link down below where I like to pick these up where they're not full price. Trust me, guys, you can find these on a little bit of a discount. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel and make sure you are following me on Instagram and watching my Instagram stories, because that's where I tell you guys where to find a lot of the things that I talk about in my videos on sale, when popular things or deals come back in stock. That's really where I'm posting it most of the time and where I post things first. If you are looking for something that is a bit more affordable but still looks really beautiful and somewhat similar on the skin, what I would recommend, what I have found to look, again, the most similar, are these blushes from Kosas. These are the Blushes Life Baked Blushes. And this shade, which happens to be my favorite, is called Dreamland. This one, once you swatch it and get it on the cheeks, it's actually really similar to this one from SISLEY. So this would be like the dupe. I know I said I don't really do dupes very much on this channel, but Kosas is a really good brand. I have almost every single shade of these cute little blushes. They're amazing. So there's other alternatives out there, but I can't say that any of those alternatives feel as luxurious as these. So if you really want like that full experience, I don't think you're gonna be disappointed with these. I do reach for them a lot, and they have been a really nice treat in my everyday makeup routine. But let's add even more glow with my most expensive highlighter. This one is from Hermes. It is the Hermes Plain Air H Trio Iridescent Mineral Powder. Just a fancy way of saying Hermes highlighter. And this comes in at $111. This is a mineral formula, so it has a very like smooth, finely milled, but also very like powdery and blendable type of formula. It also comes with 3 different shades, which I quite like. So you kind of get, I don't know, you kind of get like 4 shades in one. So maybe you can girl math it so where the $111 makes sense for you. You can kind of pick and choose which shades you like. I'm gonna go more so in the center. I like that this highlighter, once again, it's very smooth. It is not very glittery. It's really easy to build up. It has decent pigmentation, which you don't always get from luxury makeup. Sometimes luxury makeup tends to be really soft, but with this, you get a really, see that? Really beautiful glow. And you can also use this as eyeshadow, which once again, it's nice that you get a couple of shades because you can put all of those on the eyes. I get a lot of questions about these Hermes powders and also the bronzers. I think a lot of people, let's be real, I think a lot of us, we want to own something from Hermes. It's a top tier luxury brand. And we wonder like, is it really that good? Because the products are so expensive. I think this is a really good product, but I am gonna put this in the luxury letdown category. Not because it's bad. You know, once again, if you're gonna use like all 3 of these shades a little bit differently, then it actually might be worth the price to you. But I do think that there's other really beautiful, high performing luxury highlighters out there that I like just as much. Some that are just absolute holy grails. So it's really hard for me to recommend this. Same thing for the bronzer as well. It's really hard for me to recommend these powders from Hermes at $111 if there are other really great alternatives out there on the market. If you're curious to know my favorites, I do have an entire luxury highlighter video where I share my favorites and also some of the ones that I would probably avoid, specifically if you are looking for something that is really smooth, natural, and skin-like. So if you want some other recommendations, definitely check out that video. I have never seen so much drama over an eyeshadow palette. This is one of the Louis Vuitton eyeshadow palettes that launched this year, and I have this in the shade Monogram. These retail for a whopping $250. And when these launched, these took the luxury beauty community by storm. I had so many people shaming me for reviewing this, writing ridiculous comments, and at the end of the day, guys, it's just an eyeshadow palette. It's just makeup. Why is this $250? It's $250 because it is the best makeup packaging, the most luxurious, weightiest packaging I've ever experienced. And I've been reviewing luxury beauty on the internet for almost 4 years now. I have a huge collection, and let me tell you, this is the best I've ever experienced. Now, if you don't like the design of this, I totally get it. You are mostly paying for the packaging. It's kind of like a little item from Louis Vuitton, a little luxury piece of something from Louis Vuitton, and then you fill it up with what I think are some really beautiful eyeshadows. If you're interested in hearing my entire commentary on the business strategy behind this, a more in-depth review of the packaging, how it arrives, the shades, the lip products as well, I will link that video down below. I go into like excruciating detail. But in this video, I wanna show you this palette, I wanna show you these colors, this formula, and also just update you on how I've been liking these palettes and if I think that they are worth it. Now, the color stories are not particularly groundbreaking. You're not paying $250 for some like crazy, interesting, unique color story. They are just really sophisticated, basic colors. And I've actually found myself, I have 2 of these now. I have the Beige Memento, and I have, this is the latest one that I picked up when I was in London and I got to see all of the shades in person and swatch all of the shadows. I've been reaching for these a lot. They are really beautiful everyday luxury staples. Now the formula, I think it's really good. It's super smooth. It's kind of like a soft satin, you can see. It's decently pigmented, but not so much where I have to like be super duper careful. It's kind of similar to Dior, like when Dior does a good palette, because their palettes are so inconsistent at this point. After using these for a while now, I think it's better than Dior. I can't say that these shadows are superior, but I can say that they're just as good as like the best of the best. I'm just going in now with the lightest shade in the palette and kind of using that as a bit of a highlight in the inner corner. Next, I'm going into the burgundy shade. I've gotten some questions on whether or not this one is like very red. It's more of a burgundy. It has a little bit of like a purpley tone to it. I like to go in with the deepest shade in the palette and just do a light little bit of depth there on the outer corner. These just blend themselves. Like the mattes are beautiful, the satins are beautiful. We didn't get any like special Pat McGrath shades in any of these. They are designed by Pat McGrath, and I don't think these feel anything like Pat McGrath shadows. They're not quite as extreme. They're much softer. I think that they're beautiful. I really do. I also like to apply the deepest shade as a liner. Again, like these are incredibly versatile. I'm gonna go in with mascara in a second, but here is the look with monogram. For me, this is luxe worthy. I'm putting it in that category. It's really only worthy though if you think that something like this with this packaging is going to make you feel luxurious. Like this is a little treat, a little treasure for me in my everyday routine. I love the formula. I love the packaging. They're very everyday for me. I get a lot of use out of it. Like nobody knows that you're wearing Louis Vuitton eyeshadow. Nobody knows that you're wearing any of this luxury beauty. They don't know that your fragrance is Chanel or whatever it may be. You may smell good. You may look good. At the end of the day, it's for you. Okay, it's for you. If you're not really into this, that's totally understandable. Then it's really not going to be for you. If you're just looking for good formula, then there's tons of other really good luxury products out there on the market, and this is going to be a waste of your money. But I really enjoy it. It delivered on all fronts, and I really like it. Next up, as promised, is mascara. And I have right here this one from, once again, our friend Sisley. This is the So Intense mascara, and this comes in at $85. It says here on the Sisley website that the So Intense mascara provides the look of instant visible volumizing. Its unique formula, enriched with vitamin-rich peptides, helps lashes appear longer and thicker. And I did look at the ingredients. It does have like a lot of lash care ingredients and also a lash growth ingredient. This mascara as well, I think you can tell right there, it has like a one-sided wand. It's like a little brush, a little like comb for your lashes, which usually you see with lengthening formulas, but this is a volumizing formula. I'm gonna try not poke my eye out here on camera. Now at $85 though, I would put this in the luxury letdown category. I don't really like this mascara all that much. I don't think it's worth $85. Now, I will say it does have a lot of really good ingredients. I did take a look at what was in the ingredient list. It seems to be good for your lashes. If that's a category, if that's an area of your body that you want to put a little, extra love into, I totally get that. But there are others. There are others that I just enjoy better. The Chantecaille mascara, I feel like that looks better on my lashes and also lasts longer. This one from Sisley, it does tend to smudge on me. I can't say that the performance is really all that great. Like the removal is just fine, but I'm not really happy with the longevity of this. The Chantecaille, I think, has equally just as impressive of an ingredient list, but it lasts longer. It gives more like length and separation, which is what I enjoy. Also, if you want something even more affordable, I would highly recommend the brand Swede Beauty. They not only have an excellent mascara, but they have another one that has a brush kind of similar to this where it's like single-sided. So you get the same kind of experience. They started off launching false lashes and then they came out with makeup. So like lashes is really where they specialize. Their lash serum, it is clean, it is gentle and safe for the eyes. That's what I use to get my lashes this long. I would say a combo of like the lash serum and the mascara, you're good to go. That's what I would do. That's what I do. That's what I would recommend to those of you if you're looking for a luxurious alternative. I don't know. I really would not spend $85 on this one from Sisley. And if I do buy the one from Chantecaille, do you see that? It's like hard to brush through. If I do get the one from Chantecaille, I get it during a sale. So stay tuned for that. And I just totally did my hair off camera. I am back to finish things up with the lips, starting off with the bougiest, most expensive lip liner that I own. These are from Tom Ford. This is the Tom Ford Runway Lip Liner Pencil. This retails for $46. And the shade that I use the most is this one, number 103 Irresistible. It's kind of like a toasty nude. Now, I would say that these are rather unique in that they are kind of like a gel formulation. They go on incredibly smooth. Take a look at this. No dragging or tugging at all. Also, when you first apply them, they're very creamy and smudgeable and blendable. So if you like to do that kind of contoured look or a blurred look, if you want to scribble it all over the lips, you definitely can do that. You have a little bit of playtime, but once they set after like a minute or so, they set and they do not budge. I would definitely say that these are luxe worthy. I'm so tempted to say that they're not because they're $46 lip liners, but they are the best that I've ever tried. They seriously are. I'm almost tempted to say that they are top shelf, but that being said, I do have other lip liners that I think work really well that I'm also happy with that I use interchangeably with these. I will pick these up when I see them on sale because they're so expensive. They're so expensive, guys. I like the Charlotte Tilbury. I like the ones from Swede, from Esom Cosmetics, from Lisa Eldridge, but I do think that they are a step above. I think that if this is kind of like your problem area, if you have issues with your lip liner bleeding and you're really looking for the best of the best, then I would recommend checking these out because I think you're gonna also find what I found, which is that they are absolutely an elite product. They do feel different than other ones that I've tried. And lastly, to finish things off, we have the most expensive lipstick. This is the Clé de Peau, the Precious lipstick. And I have this in the shade Joyous Topaz, which is a beautiful kind of rich neutral brown. These are refillable, I will mention, and they come in these beautiful kind of jewel-like cases, very similar to the foundation, the packaging that I showed you earlier in this video. Now, why are these so expensive? Well, it says on the Clé de Peau website that with a serum-like texture and intensive skincare benefits, these lipsticks instantly adhere to the lips, giving them a three-dimensional and contoured look. They are infused with diamonds, 24 karat gold, and superior skincare ingredients for lips that are instantly plumped, moisturized, and empowered by the richness and radiance of precious jewel tones. So that's why they have the sort of jewel-like packaging, and that's why they are all named after different jewel tones. These are, as described, kind of like a thin, lightweight, serum-y texture. They are, skincare infused, just like a lot of the products in this video. These are great if you have very dry lips like myself. And I think you can tell right there, they do have a little bit of like a shimmery touch. So it does give that multi-dimensional look to the lips without looking like strange and metallic. I think they're absolutely beautiful, but I've said it before, these are a bit of a luxury letdown for me. The formula is beautiful, but I don't think that it's like drastically better than other luxury lipsticks that I've tried out there. I actually really like the Clé de Peau satin lipsticks, just the standard ones that they sell. I would go with those because those are intensely hydrating. There's more shades to choose between. They're not as expensive. They're wonderful. So that's the first thing. While I think the formula is really good, there's other luxury lipsticks out there that I think do the same thing. But the other thing is that I really do think for the price, the packaging could get an an upgrade. I think it looks beautiful, but it feels like, I don't know, it feels a little bit plasticky and lightweight. If we're talking luxury, we're talking Celine lipstick, we're talking Guerlain lipstick. Like, those are luxurious to me. I think that they did a good job creating the most luxurious formula in a way, but I feel like they kind of fell short when it comes to the packaging. It does match the rest of the Clé de Peau line, but I don't want it to match the rest of the Clé de Peau line. I want it to feel like a $110 lipstick, and it really doesn't, mostly because of the packaging. So it's just not something that I would repurchase. It's not something that I would want to invest my money in, given the other alternatives that are out there on the luxury market. Once again, I would check out the satin lipsticks in the Clé de Peau collection. They are beautiful. Even the Sisley ones, those are really good. And also the Chantecaille lip cremes. Those are divine and intensely hydrating, super creamy on the lips. The packaging is really nice, especially for the price point. So those would be the 3 luxury lipsticks that I would take a look at as an alternative. And this, my friends, is the final look. Comment down below. Do I look expensive? I would love to hear your thoughts on all of these products. Do you own any of these? Are they luxe worthy or a letdown? If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up and subscribe, or better yet, go watch another video. Up next, I'm trying every single product from Clé de Peau Beauté. I'll see you there.